on that later.
You never wanna pick up.
Hello there, and welcome to episode 4. We're already on episode 4 of the new grad diaries, about how I am trying to get a job and see what that process is like. Today is an interesting day because I have 3 interviews scheduled, or like 3-ish interviews. The first one is with Magical, a recruiter there. I'm gonna talk to them for 30 minutes, talk about why I'm interested in the role, ask them questions. Then 30 minutes after that, I have a 1-hour coding interview with Brex. It's on Codility. I am not prepared for this. I need to study. I need to look through my notes from before when I was applying for internships so I can remember things, because I did not get to practice yesterday like I wanted to. And I've been doing only a little bit of LeetCode. After that, like 30 minutes after that, I have the kind of like coffee chat thing with the possible like internship I'll have in September, like starting September for dev degree. And it's like a production engineering team. So I think that's going to be really cool. So I'm excited for that one. That one seems more low key. But the coding one is what I'm most nervous about, because I'm so scared that I'm just going to be like blank and not be able to code. Like that's how I thought when I was first doing internship interviews. But I feel like I was at a better place at that time because I had just taken an algorithms course. I don't know, like I knew what patterns to look for. But then now I feel like I'm so out of it. And even though I've been practicing a little bit, I haven't gotten into any of, like most of the topics that they'll probably cover. So that's why I'm nervous about me. But something good is that because I went to Fig Night and because I already did the whiteboard assessment for that and passed, they said that I get to move on to the final stage, which is like the virtual on-site, which is like 3 back-to-back interviews, or maybe even, or yeah, like 3 back-to-back ones, and then if they like me, then a 4th one. That's going to be the week of August 16th, so I basically have 2 weeks to prepare for that. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. And Figma is apparently like the #1 startup that people want to work at, so I think that's pretty cool. And it is really cool. Like I really like the company and the product and everything, but I don't know, I feel like I did so poorly in my previous Figma on-site. I just don't know how to get better. I need more practice. Yeah, and it wasn't like LeetCode style questions, it was like actual real life scenarios. The stress is creeping in. I don't like this. I'm reviewing stuff and realizing how little I know about anything. Okay, I am stupid. I did not search who I was going to be talking to, and I thought it was a recruiter, but it turned out to be the COO of Magical, and she was great. Like, she was super nice to talk to. She uses a lot of acronyms that I do not know because I'm not in like the business world, but it was really cool hearing about like why she wanted to move like from becoming like being like the VP of like insights at Atlassian to becoming a COO at a startup that's very small. And it's really interesting, like learning about how it's like a very horizontal platform and like what they have a Chrome extension out now, but it only has one of the features. It has many more features that they're developing, but they're doing like beta testing of that, so I didn't know about all of those. That's really cool and like good to know that there's different projects. And yeah, she said she'll connect me with the CTO and with one of the engineers there. And now it's time to cram for my Brex coding interview. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like I'm ready. It's gonna be weird. At least, okay, standing up helps. Power posing helps. Definitely. Makes you feel less nervous, and just nodding and smiling and trying to explain who you are is like giving your elevator pitch is very weird, but I don't know. I feel like I have a very general experience, so I think it's okay for startups to be like, oh yeah, you're a generalist, because they need people who know a variety of things. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention about Magical is that they're actually looking to only hire like full-time female engineers, and like also trying to get female interns, because most of their founding team was male, and then instead of waiting until they're like have 100 employees to start thinking about diversity, they decided to think about it at the beginning, like this is what we need to do. So they're trying to hire more females, and it's really cool. So I like that as well. Okay, it is 5 minutes before my Brex coding interview, and I get a message on Slack from my mentor at Twitch saying that he found my YouTube channel. No. I literally messaged him in caps. No, why? I have just finished my first ever coding interview of the season. It did not go very well, but I did code stuff, but I just feel like it wasn't the best that I could have done. I went with the intuitive approach that I had, which is like brute force basically, because I was like, oh, I can't think of any data structures that would be useful for this, even though at the end like we talked about it, I was like, oh, I could have used this or this, and then she's like, yeah, that would have worked too. But even though she said that like she thinks that I still did well, because like she said that it's not always a bad thing to go with the intuitive approach, and then like you can always go back to it and make it better later. And like I was making my solution better and like using helper functions and that kind of stuff, and it wasn't like a super hard problem. I don't know, like yeah, just take more time planning, but I was very nervous. And she was really nice, and I got to ask her questions about Brex, and she works on the spend team, so where you can see how much your like employees are spending and that kind of stuff. I basically was asking her like why she works at startups, because she said she did all her internships at startups, and also her first full-time job before Brex was also at a startup, and she said she really likes like, I don't know, like working on things and having the autonomy to do that kind of stuff. And she said when she first joined Brex, everyone had to like kind of be doing everything, but now as it's become bigger and grown into like 700-ish employees, you have like more tooling and more safeguards put in place than you would see at a bigger company. And she said that a startup that's over 100 people is a really good place to have your first job, so that's good advice. And I asked what their tech stack is, and she said it used to be Elixir for their backend and like React and TypeScript for the front end, but then they realized no one knows Elixir, so then they switched it to Kotlin, which is like run on the JVM, so similar to Java, and more people know Java. I got to meet my future manager that's going to be my manager in September, and she's really cool. And it's at Shopify in production engineering, which is what I really wanted. So it's going to be working with a lot of like Google Cloud Platform, Terraform, Kubernetes, Golang, Ruby, many different things that are super interesting. She says it's a very high learning curve, but I'm excited for that. The team is basically the network platform team, and they implement like what Google provides to us. And that's what she said, and they like re-architected the whole network architecture. And I think what she said was cool is that this team gives you a good view of all the other production engineering teams, which is kind of what I want to learn about, like what other teams are out there, like how does everything fit together in Shopify. So I'm very excited. I'm being emailed by MIT to do some 2-year program. I guess it's a master's. Getting an MBA from MIT Sloan and a Master of Science from MIT School of Engineering. Very depressing news. I got rejected from Brex, but it's okay. I don't know. It was a nice experience, and I don't know. It was my first interview after months of not interviewing, so who cares? And I don't know, today I was reminded about how good Twitch is. Either way, honestly, like I want to work at Twitch full time, and hopefully I can, and I want to like actually move and be able to go into the office, because a lot of these companies I'm applying for don't even have offices anymore, and Shopify doesn't have offices anymore. So I don't know if that's what I want to do for my first full-time job. It's sad, of course, but I have way too many other interviews scheduled for next week, so I need more calmness in my life. And I have to like finish my anthropology course this weekend, do all the last assignments, and edit videos and everything. So many things, and do all the OAs. I have like, I don't know, like 3 online assessments, and then 1 like coding project that I might want to do. I don't know, there's too many things. What is this? Why did I sign up for this? Why? I'm always questioning myself now, like what am I doing? Honestly, I feel like as my hair fades, my hope also fades, and also my mental health deteriorates. So that's how these episodes are going to be going from now on. It's just Maria deteriorating into nothingness, essentially. I'm basically going to become a shell of a human being who only knows how to do coding interviews.
Gathered by the sea, sand people anxiously. Not once did speak to me. When tides came, did not flee. The each spoke the same, had the same dreams, same pain and same feelings, staring at the sea and what was left of me.
Okay, I think I have to take both. I have to take like one code signal for both of these companies. If I defer the Robinhood one, then I have to wait 14 days. And I don't have 14 days to do this. So I think I have to just do both. And one of them is proctored, one of them is not. So I guess they're both proctored now. I don't know. I guess I just have to do one and then fail it. And then get rejected by both companies probably. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Okay, I did it. There were 4 questions. I didn't have time. I spent like way too much time on the first question just because I messed up something. It was super stupid. Like I set one variable to 0 and I was like, why is this always 0 when I multiply things? It's like, what the fuck? I set it to 1, oh my god. So it took a while for that question. Maybe like it could have been like 5 minutes or even less. It took me like 15 minutes, so I wasted time on that. The third question, I was so close. There's just one thing I just needed to like loop over. And then I would have gotten like all perfect test cases, but because of this one thing, it messed it up. And then if I had like 2 extra minutes, I wouldn't be able to do it, which sucks because I just spent way too much time on the first question. So I need more practice in this. But I got a score apparently of 714. I guess that's okay. I don't know. Apparently people are like, oh, you can only get in if you get a score of 800. Whoa. But whatever. Like, I don't know. It's my first time doing this. Like I don't think I've done code signal, I feel like. You know, we'll see. It's for Square and for Robinhood. We'll see what they say. Oh my god, Duolingo's here. I want to talk to Duolingo. That's so cool. Oh wow. Interesting. Datadog is cool. Figma is nice. So many fancy companies. Oh, Shopify best. Okay, it looks like the expo is at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. so I guess I'll visit the booth then. Oh, but Duolingo. I don't know why I'm so interested in Duolingo, but it's just I've never seen them at a career fair, so it seems cool. Ooh, this is great. They also made an Airtable for all of the companies that are here, and it has like all their information, so that's really good. Oh, sponsorship, that's important for me. And oh my god, they even have links. This is amazing. This is the best. This is just great.
My heartbeat goes like cosine. 내가 맘에 들면 follow 좋아요 구독. 이 노래가 유명해져야 너가 날 만나줄 거잖아. 그때 나를 바라볼 때 심장이 멎은 듯한 무궁화 꽃이 폈게 움직일 수 없어 baby. My flowers waiting your life.
Okay, so I went to the booth for the MIT like LGO type of master's degree program where it's half MBA and half engineering degree, like you choose which one. And it's actually really interesting. The woman was saying that you could actually defer doing your master's degree. So you can say, oh, I'm going to be in industry for a few years and then I'm going to come and do my master's. I did not know that this program, like that type of thing existed. So now I will probably apply for master's degrees. And then she said what's hard about it is that you have to have like a faculty member in the engineering, like for the engineering discipline to vouch for you and say, okay, they're going to do research with me. But then they can't plan ahead a few years, so that's what makes it more difficult. Getting ready for my Palantir interview. I think it's just with the recruiter, but we shall see what happens. And I'm just listening to the Palantir software engineers talk about what it's like to work there in their booth. Yeah, pretty interesting. I feel like I look weird with braids. But whatever. I just finished my interview or talking interview, I don't know, with someone from Palantir. It's actually pretty funny. I don't know, I feel like I'm way too honest about things. Like she's like, oh, what do you know about Palantir? And I'm like, the website? Like that's all that I have looked at is just a website and like the products. So I was like, can you tell me more? And it was interesting, like she explained the 2 different products that they have. And like one is used more for like tracking government data. So like, oh, is there like a money laundering scheme? It's like you can track all these different data points. And the other one is for more like different type of clients, like not government associations. So it could be like tracking COVID or tracking food going on a truck to like a grocery store, that kind of information. And it was really interesting. And there's like 2 different types of developers. You could be a regular dev who's working on the core products, or a delta, as they call them, who's basically like a consultant and goes and helps their clients add more like Lego blocks to the product, and then comes back and says like, oh, maybe we should add this Lego block to our core product. So that kind of thing. And I think that seems interesting, but it's like more traveling and consultancy style stuff. The first step is a hacker rank, and then after that you go through some actual like technical interview through Carrot or some other like whatever that's called, where it's actually not someone who works at Palantir, but just any other like engineer who I guess is on that platform who will interview you. And then if you go through that, then you go through an on-site with 2 different interviews. Also, she asked me like hard questions, like what kind of missions am I interested in? And like she knew it was a hard question because I don't know, I was talking about like why I'm still trying to interview at different places or what I'm interested in. But then I also do love the missions of both Shopify and Twitch. So I don't know if I made any sense, but it was an interesting like talk with her. It was really nice talking to her. She was really funny too. Hello, it is Saturday, already afternoon. I woke up late, or like late for me is 9 a.m. So that's late for me. And then I was just watching Castlevania, you know, relaxing because I needed rest. Today I just did my Clockwise online assessment. They just sent me a question or like a problem by email, and they're like, okay, you have 90 minutes to do it, like using any editor you want. And then it's like something that they have solved. So obviously you can assume that it's something with meetings and scheduling meetings because that's what their company does. So it's an interesting problem. And I was able to solve most of it, I think, except for one little like thing. And then I wrote like my idea of how I would do that. So I'm gonna send them the gist of it, so the GitHub gist. And yeah, now I can relax.
In case you couldn't tell, when my show with the belt got me real good. Keep my pants far from hell, looking real good. Got me wrapped up in a bow, Orient flow. Well, minor episode I ended with. If I were to stay till you're okay, I know by now. You tell all your friends that I'm obsessed. Now let's go.